My squishes, as we call them, are overpowering. Hello the humans, welcome to this space on the internet. We're coming up on Aromantic Spectrum Awareness Week, or ASAW. For those of you who don't know, this is an annual event that begins the week after Valentine's Day. Kind of ironically, I think that's the point. And it exists to acknowledge and educate ourselves and the world at large about Aromanticism and the Aromantic spectrum. So I thought, given these circumstances, it would be fun to make a video detailing why I personally love being aromantic. Quick preface, just because I love one aspect of being aromantic doesn't mean another arospec person will. My point being that we're not all the same, we're not a monolith, as they say. Maybe we have shared experiences, who knows? So number 1, I love my unique perspective on amatonormativity. So as an aromantic being, I feel particularly prone to, I like to say, annihilating amatonormativity? Annihilating amatonormativity, and I think that being aromantic has made me especially perceptive to the nuances and complexities of amatonormativity and how they appear in our everyday life. You could say I'm like especially sensitive to it, being in part separated from it, like I'm looking in on other people's experiences of amatonormativity. Not that I'm exempt from it, but I think that I have a unique stance in understanding the works of amatonormativity, and that's kind of cool to me. So yeah, as an aromantic person, I love being aromantic for the sake of existing in inherent contradiction to amatonormativity and thus having a bit of a different perspective on it. Oh, and for those of you who haven't heard much on amatonormativity or are wondering what it is, I actually have a whole video on it, so go watch it. Number 2. I love being aromantic for the aro pride and community. I'm proud of being aromantic personally. I think that aromanticism and the aromantic spectrum as a whole are awesome. And I think that we as aromantic people bring an extra beautiful aspect of diversity to the 2S LGBTQIA+ community and the world. We have this special element that is inherent to our identities that we can bring into spaces of relational diversity. I also love hearing from and talking to other arospec people and aromantic people and just bonding over our rad ways of existence. Number 3, I have extreme platonic feelings. And while this can actually be a bit of a negative thing for me, because we're existing within amatonormativity that dictates the hierarchy of how we should value platonic love versus romantic love versus all the different types of love. So while it can be a bit negative to be operating within a system that pushes a certain outlook on romanticism versus platonicism, if that's a word, I do think that my extreme experience of platonic feelings, attraction, and love is actually pretty cool. My capacity for friend love, platonic love, is enormous. My squishes, as we call them, are overpowering, actually. And I personally think it's pretty cool that I can experience platonic attraction and platonic feelings in this way, which also translates to kind of an extreme devotion to friendships once I can figure out how to, make one. That's the hard part for me, but the feelings are there. Number 4, I feel kind of badass as an aromantic humanoid, And even though I can recognize that, a lot of the stereotypes around aromanticism and aromantic portrayal in media kind of hone in on this aspect of, I'm immune to the attraction, I'm a complete badass, I know, a lot about weapons or something, something very action movie-esque, I guess. I still think that in my personal experience, I feel pretty cool not experiencing romantic attraction, being fundamentally immune to this experience that everybody else is having. And I think that even though we don't get any, real representation in film, especially, all, sort of headcanon aromantic characters have the commonality of being pretty badass, if you ask me. Take, for example, Merida from Brave. Number 5. I think being aromantic enhances my experience of family and the value I place in familial relationships. Obviously, most of you watching don't know me, you wouldn't be able to tell, but I am extremely close with my family. I have a bunch of siblings, and I love them very dearly. My family is probably the most important thing to me, like, out of everything. And I think that because I don't desire romantic relationships, the idea that you, especially at my age, branch off, find a partner, make your own family, kind of diverge from the core of the family you were raised in, I guess. The idea escapes me a bit because I envision my future in constant, continuous contact with my family. I would be super into living with my brother for my whole life. I don't know how into it he is because I'm pretty sure he's not aromantic, but I want my family to be some of the primary relationships I have throughout my whole life. Number 6. I have the capacity to direct the same sort of passion and intensity people direct towards romantic relationships and romance. I have the capacity to direct that energy towards other things, which seems broad, but let me explain. While this is sort of similar to some of my other points, and this trait of mine isn't exclusive to the fact that I'm aromantic, it's also a bunch of other things, but I kind of have a standout ability to commit to my interests and passions. My, like, most extreme feelings that I think a lot of people restrict to romantic feelings are the sorts of feelings that I experience with a whole range of different things that are important to me. Like, my most intense experience of emotion, my most passionate moments are when I'm engaging with things that I think are really cool. Take, for example, I have a long-standing commitment to dance. I'm a dancer and I have been since I was 3. And the same passion that I feel for dance, I think, is akin to what other people might experience in romantic relationships, but it's not romantic by nature. So if I were to explain this to, like, an alloromantic person, which, or maybe you're an alloromantic person, I don't know, I could say, like, it's almost as if my relationship with dance is as dynamic and meaningful and intimate as someone else's relationship with a romantic partner. Number 7. I like the Aromantic Flag. Here it is here. And yes, I think this is a completely legitimate reason to love being aromantic because the flag is awesome. And this is sort of a random side note, but I like the fact that it has 2 different shades of green. So, like, take for example the Ace flag, which is quite similar, only has 1 shade of purple, and I feel like the 2 shades of green. I like the feel of 5 stripes instead of 4, like it doesn't feel like there's a distinct half mark, which I like. But I also like the fact that there's 2 different types of green, which means more green, which, you know, I do like green myself. But I think it also portrays a bit more spectrumness to it. And last but not least, number 8. The 8th reason that I love being aromantic is because I get to share the beauty of my aromanticism and aromanticism in general with the world. So, like, for example, in the comment section on my videos or in private messages on Instagram or in emails, I've had people tell me about how they're writing books featuring aromantic characters and how they really want to do the community justice in portraying a, like, fully formed, awesome aromantic character and storyline. And even if I'm not writing a book just yet, I feel like I have the unique opportunity to spread aro positivity through my online interactions, through my conversations with others, through all the media I create, through everything I do. Like, being aromantic's awesome, and I get to spread that joy of being aromantic, and I get to live in that joy. So that's 8 reasons why I love being aromantic. Why do you love being aromantic if you're aromantic or arospec? I'd love to have a comment section just full of, like, reasons we love being aromantic. That just seems like a dream to me. So if you have anything in mind, put it in the comment section. And otherwise, happy Aromantic Spectrum Awareness Week. I hope it's just as cool as you are. Farewell, lovely humans. We'll see you next time in the space on the internet. Bye!